am the Plant Propagator, and welcome to my channel. Today I am at the Dublin National Botanical Gardens, and this place is pretty cool, and it's old. I'm back behind the curvilinear greenhouse, and if you take a look over here and in the other direction, you will see that this is a cool greenhouse. I mean, it's curved, it's straight, it's old. And so we'll take a look. The grounds are big. I tend to focus on the tropical plants that are here. So we'll take a look at here. We'll take a longer stop in the orchid house, which is another old greenhouse that's behind you. But I wanted to show you this greenhouse first because it really is so cool. So I'm going to splice together some clips that we're going to take today, and we'll just see how it goes. I'm here with a short sleeve shirt on. It's pretty cold, and because it's cold, everything needs to be in the greenhouses, and even the orchids aren't the same type of orchids that I have. But let's take a look and see what's here. Okay, we are now inside the greenhouse, and it's really neat in here. So there's a lot of different plants, and lots of color. They seem to have in this area lots of coleuses, which are really colorful, and begonias spread throughout. The other thing that I've seen a lot of, and I'll show you one right up here, but they're pitcher plants that they have all over the place. And this is a really large pitcher plant, but we're seeing this, the Sarracenia. We're also seeing the more tropical pitcher plants. But it's just a nice and really interesting greenhouse. These benches right here, I should say, are, I think they have heating systems underneath there, and a lot of these plants are on pebbles. So I think the heat comes through there, and then you get humidity that comes through the rest of the room. A pretty big bougainvillea right here, but just really well maintained. We saw somebody go through here and picking up the plant waste that had dropped down. So this is just a really big, well kept greenhouse. We'll stop right here. So this is a fuchsia. And Ireland, there's a lot of fuchsia. This is not the wild one that I've seen, but there's hedges made of the fuchsia all over the place. Really big old plants. Geraniums right there because they're colorful and big. Again, a pretty large bougainvillea right here. All right, so that's this house, the first chamber in the curvilinear house, and we'll take a look. Once something that looks interesting, we'll take a look at some of the other. Oh, look, here's a sensitive plant. And then more coleus. It's just nice color. Anyway, we'll take a look at calla lily right there. We'll take a look at more plants, and I'll stop when I feel it's time. Okay, on to the next step. And we're back. So after we're in the annuals, the outside annuals area of the Dublin Botanical Garden. And after I go through places like that, like this, it makes me realize how little I know or remember of my plant background. So some of these things I know what they are, and some of them I don't. So I'm pretty sure this is yarrow right here. Back behind it is sunflower. I think this is rudbeckia right here. There's asters right here, I think. And as we go through here a little bit more, there's some things that I do want to point out. I see a lot of certain types of plants in here, but I do want to show you this because I tried growing this in the Midwest US when I was a kid. So this is sweet pea, and you can see all the peas that are on the plant, but for me they never got this big. And the thing that's interesting about this is how intensely fragrant they are, which I never noticed because I never got them to grow that big. But this is a pretty big plant right here. This plant right here, I used to know the name of it. I don't know. Very cool looking. Again, more sunflowers as we go this way. As I look across the path here, I do see a lot of nasturtiums in Ireland overall, and in the Botanical do really, really well here. I mean, there's not that many people here today, but I just wanted to show you this area because there's so much stuff blooming, and there is really so much color. So it's a nice place. A lot of the stuff is it's past its prime, I think, but this is what happens when you have botanical gardens like this, is especially when you've got the plants here that get really big. Another huge sweet pea right there that's just loaded with blooms. Okay. And I should also say, I don't know whether you noticed, but there's some big bees in here. I saw one flying over on this plant here. Just look at that. I mean, that's some pretty nice color right there. So that's an aster plant, or a few plants that are doing really well. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take a look at some of the other parts of the garden and put things together for you and show you more as we go through it. Okay, and we are back. So this is, and I think I told you previously that there were a few dahlias here, and that's what I'm seeing. And there's a lot, and they are they're doing pretty well. But as we take a look, and there's all the different forms that are typical. I did stop one of the guys that works here, and he told me that it's a really long growing season, and that it rarely gets below freezing. So what happens is you get a really long season, and you get these plants that do really well and flower for an extended period of time. So he did say that a few years ago they did have a freeze, and that means it got below 0, and it stayed, that's centigrade, and then it stayed below 0. They don't get very many hard freezes. It does get cold enough to get frost, but there's not. Oh man, look at the size of this guy. That is a big flower. Those are big flowers. And look at the color that we can see from there. Anyway, to finish up, he said that there aren't too many really cold days, so they'll get frost, but they won't get freezes. And then what they get as a result of that is just really, you get a really extended growth period out of these guys, and things do really well. Okay, so this is the last, looks like dahlias, and then the mums are right here, and they're just starting to go. But maybe this is better to shoot it this way. Got the sun behind me now. I should have probably walked down this way to start. But really, really nice dahlias that are growing right here. And I'm gonna head, just so you can see, I'm gonna head over here next. So this is a formal annual garden, and again, lots of nice colors. Right now it's just very comfortable. The weather wise, it's very comfortable. We have sun. We don't get that much sun in Ireland and Dublin, but when you do get it, these guys really soak it up. So, but really nice, intense colors on this, and behind it just a nice view of I think that's the palm house that's behind us. But again, very old greenhouses that are here, single pane glass. And again, we're going to head back to there, probably finish up on the orchid house. But I wanted to show you this really nice and very colorful annual garden space. Okay, so that's it for here, and then we'll see what else we can find, and then end up in the orchid house. And we are back. So I think this is the second to last stop. I think we're gonna take a look at the orchid garden after this, and can't see well into the sun, but this is a terraced fern garden, and I was recommended to come here and take a look at these. I don't know if these are those ferns were just placed into the trunks of these trees, or whether they are true cycads. But anyway, just lots of ferns. This is, and I'm sorry you can't see it, I'm shooting into the sun here, but some of these appear to be, this area over there beyond is still under construction. But this is a relatively new fern garden. But what you can see is just lots of ferns, and it's just a really nice area to come down here. I was told also this is the primitive, what they call the primitive garden. So it's a fairly small ginkgo right here. And I asked my new friend if any of the there's another ginkgo that's right up there, if any of these were female, and he looks at me with disgust and says no. So these are all male ginkgos, as you might imagine. I don't know what this one is, but very, very cool looking. I have no idea what that is, but that's a really interesting looking tree right in the middle of that. Anyway, just lots of really interesting ferns, and I know nothing about ferns. We can take a look at some of the labels if you want, but I don't know my ferns at all, but it's just a very cool area. Okay, lots of ferns off in the distance, and again, we kind of lucked out. It is a nice sunny day here for now, at least in Ireland. And again, these look like new plantings, which I was told they are. So, and again, the terraced garden that you can't see well because we're shooting right into the sun, but you know, nice stonework right here, terrace gardens, just really nicely presented. Okay, so we're gonna make one more stop, and that is gonna be in the orchid house, and that should be quick because not too many orchids here. I did get the contact name of the curator of the botanical garden to see if he wanted any of the orchids that I'm making, and we'll see what happens with that. So I'm going to contact him and see what happens. Anyway, this is the primitive garden containing mostly ferns and close to the orchid house. And this is the orchid house. So these are not orchids. So what I have, what's here is lots of different pitcher plants. And I don't know why they got pitcher plants at the entrance to the orchid house, but that's what they have. So lots of interest. I mean, all the way around here, there's pitcher plants. I don't know my pitcher plants, just other than it says Saraceni. So anyway, let's get into the orchids. And I should say, as we go through here, there's a mix of orchids and lots of other plants too. And the orchids, just so you know, don't look great. It is warm in here. They got high humidity again. All of these benches, I think, have heaters underneath them, and there's gravel above. So I think it creates a really high humidity environment. Not too many of these are blooming. I think this is a cymbidium right here it's in spike, but no blooms on it right now. But a real mix of things. There's begonia. I'm not even sure what another begonia here. I think another cymbidium right here that's probably going to be open soon. But as we move over here, this is it a zygo? It just says Orchis mix. So lots of, these orchids right here not blooming. I think, here's a path right here, and this is a nice looking path. And I should say I touched the pot to move it. The pot's warm, so they're getting good sun. Another zygo or oncidium right here that is in bloom. And I should also say, as I'm looking at this, there's it's there may be a lot of insects in here, and they use it's mostly organic insect control. So they use a combination of just some really light sprays and some natural control mechanisms. I think it has a den right here, so dendrobium right here. Not sure what this is right here. Probably another another dendrobium right here. Not blooming now, then, but if we keep on moving, okay, here's another, this is blooming. I think this is an oncidium right here, but this one is labeled oncidium right there as well. So we keep on going through here, and most of these, there's, it's really, they're not very wet in here. It's a very light mix. I see leca and perlite and bark in here. So they do have a reasonable amount of orchids, but not too many of them are in bloom or even in spike. So intermingled between them, they have begonia that's blooming. Some nice color on some of the other plants. But as we're moving through, I gotta see. It says Prosthecia right here on this plant, but again, not in bloom, so I can't really tell what this is. This seems to be a dendrobium right here as we're moving through it. Again, no flowers on here. And what I don't see, it looks like an encyclia. Yeah, so this is an encyclia, but not blooming, so I don't know what it is. So as we move through it a little bit more, and once we're in this area, the floor is wet, so it's really humid. So there's a nice oncidium right here that is in spike, but I see very few cattleyas here, and I went through here and was looking for blooms, and I didn't see that many. So here is a path right here that's pretty nice. It's nice blooming path, and I think I see there may be a few more of those that are in here, but let's keep on moving through here and we'll see what happens. So I don't know what this is, but it says C. alata on here. Not a cattleya, but we'll see. And this is, don't know what this is, interesting, but I don't know what kind of orchid that is. But I see a lot of oncidiums here. This may be, I thought I would know this. Oh, this is a paphopetalum, is what the label says. Not sure, yeah, I guess it looks like a path. Okay, so moving along. And what we see in here a lot of is, so this, I think this is Nepenthes, tropical pitcher plant here, and another Nepenthes right here, another Nepenthes right here. And, okay, and then over here we have a few of these, I think they're paths.
They're frags.
Frags, so they're frags. And here's a label, a beat up label that's in the water that these frags are sitting in. Okay, so moving on. And we're gonna stop in just a little bit, but what they have along the outside is some mounted phals. So this one right here looks like it's about to bloom. This one is blooming, and look, there's water hanging from this, so this was recently watered. Okay, so let's go into the next house, and then I think we're gonna be done. So I'm looking as I go. It's hard, it's much easier, at least for me, to ID these. I'm not used to some of these because of how they're growing. So anyway, all right, so I think that's all I wanted to share with you today. Well, okay, no, let's go into the next room. And so what we have here, there's not much more. So this is I think it's another Cymbidium that is in spike here. Unfortunately, no flowers on those. But that's pretty much all that I have. They're spread throughout. There are very few of them that are blooming right now. The greenhouse itself, this is again single pane. It looks like a really old wood greenhouse, and not very well insulated. There is shade cloth that's above that looks like it's not automatically spread and pulled back as it goes. Today is a warm day. I don't know what kind of temperature control they have in here, but I mean, these plants are okay, but it's not, you know, it's not Southwest Florida. But anyway, it's just a pleasure to be here, and I have to thank my videographer today for tolerating me and bringing us through here. And that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you did and you want to keep on seeing them, it would help me out if you can click on like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. All right, that's all I have for today. Again, I hope you enjoyed it, and happy propagating.